This is Andrew at GY6 Vids, and in today's episode we're filming in a little bit colder climates, testing out the KRISS Vector chambered in 45 ACP and 9mm. I can't feel my face. Whew, 3 degrees, a little cold. Now, by now, most of you have heard about the KRISS Vector. It's been in the industry for some time now. A lot of you have seen the reviews on it. You've seen it in movies, you've seen it in video games. There's been a lot of requests for me to do my own personal testing on it. Now, a lot of the time you hear about the KRISS Vector, you hear about how it mitigates recoil, how the recoil reduction system in this gun keeps the muzzle rise or muzzle flip or whatever you want to call it down. Because rather than going directly back and raising the muzzle up, the recoil mitigation system goes back just a tiny bit and then directly down. So when you see it fire, you'll see it budge just a tiny bit and then get dumped down and it goes back up to where you held it. So you get this motion like this as you fire, rather than like this. Another major feature about the KRISS Vector is you can swap out calibers from this platform to a 9mm to a 357 SIG to a 40 Smith & Wesson to a 10mm in a matter of seconds. The two guns we're using today are the pistol versions of the KRISS Vector. The arm brace back here, which is allowing you to hook it to your arm and shoot with a little bit of assistance, is not making it a short-barreled rifle. I am not allowed to put this against my shoulder and shoot due to NFA regulations, but I can put my cheek on it. So you can use your cheek as a rest, but if this touches your shoulder, that's a no-no, so you gotta keep that in mind. But the nice thing is these are going through NFA paperwork right now. They will be considered a short-barreled rifle here soon once I get my paperwork back. Now this is where the issues come in though, because the KRISS Vector firearm aspect is down here where the caliber changes, unlike an AR-15, where in an AR-15 you can have a short-barreled rifle NFA firearm, which is the lower aspect of an AR-15. You can swap out the upper anytime you want, and it's still considered the same firearm. With this gun, when you swap out calibers, you're technically changing guns. So that is one of the issues I have with it. As you swap out this lower, if you SBR this 45 ACP version, if I were to put on a 10mm or something, it's not going to be considered an SBR anymore because it's a new firearm, seeing how the lower is what has the serial number on it. Now KRISS also has a longer barreled version of it, so you have a much longer barrel and it sticks out and it looks like an artificial suppressor on the front. You're not going to be gaining that much more speed on the gun. 5.5 inches is plenty of barrel length to still do what it needs to do at the distance it's supposed to do it at. You are going to gain 50 to 100 feet per second. You may gain a little bit more accuracy from that, but this gun is not designed for long range shooting. This gun is meant for close quarters battles. So when you come into a room, boom, 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 you're shooting, that 15 to 20 yard mark at max most of the time. But the extended barrel does allow you to have an adjustable stock on it, feel a little bit more comfortable behind the gun, have a little bit more control on the gun, but you lose the aspect of what makes the KRISS Vector awesome, which is being a short, compact, close quarters battle weapon. Now the specs on this firearm, you have an ambidextrous safety in the backside, as you can see, very easy safety mechanism. So whether you're left-handed or right-handed, very easy to get to, flipping it down, flipping it up. I almost think it may be a little too easy. I think there should be a little bit more rigidness in that safety so where you don't accidentally flip it on when you're still trying to shoot. Now all the Vector systems do take standard Glock magazines, so you're able to swap out whatever you're shooting in your Glock and put it right into the Vector and you're good to go. It does make it nice. I mean, if you have a sidearm that's a Glock and it has the same caliber, you can swap out those magazines in this system and go seamlessly from gun to gun and keep all the same mags on you and have a personal defense weapon and a sidearm and not having to worry about the extra bolt. Now from KRISS, you do get the mag pull pop-up sights. Makes it really nice, so if you want to transition from your red dot, if it fails on you, or if you're not running a red dot at all, you can instantly have these on your gun. It does not affect your red dot line of sight, which is very nice. I am running Vortex Spark AR on this gun. On the other one, I have the Spitfire AR from Vortex Optics. Now most KRISS Vectors do have a side folding stock, but you can hammer out this pin and swap it out with a side folding stock from KRISS if you do SBR this. Other features on the gun, you have a side folding non-reciprocating charging handle. So this charging handle here, reach over, very easy to get even with gloves on, grab that charging handle, pull back, let it go, gun is charged. Right below it, as you can see, is the bolt release. You just push down right here, bolt releases forward, chambers around in the gun. Obviously, if there was ammunition in the mag, once you hit that charging handle and let it go, it's going to charge around and you'll be good to go out of the gate. Now, measurements on the gun, they are going to be identical across the platform. So as you transition from the 9 to the 45 ACP to the 10mm to the 357 SIG to the 40 Smith & Wesson, they're all going to be the same size, same dimensions, same weight, same barrel length. It's all the same in the pistol version and all the same in the rifle version. You feel like you're on the same gun. So it's nice once you train with it, you have it down permanently, no matter what caliber you decide to transition to. Now, the overall length of the KRISS Vector pistol version is 24.25 inches, as well as 6.8 inches in overall height. And you're looking at 6.7 pounds across the board. And all the calibers do have that 5.5 inch length barrel in the pistol version. With the rifle version, obviously it's longer. Though you can swap out this lower and put on a rifle version onto the bottom of this, it'll now be a rifle because the upper section is not the firearm. Did I mention you can put a drum mag on it? There's drum mags out there for Glocks, so therefore it's a Glock magazine. You can take this drum mag right up into the gun and you're good to go with 100 rounds down range whenever you need it. ActionFirearmsFlorida.com is their website. Action Firearms is a gun shop down in Florida. Big supporters of GY6 Vids, and they sent it out as a gift. Surprised the heck out of me, and I'm very, very much looking forward to using it. Enough rambling about that. Let me show you how to break this down. Very simple, very easy, and then show you the mitigation system inside of it, so when you're seeing it shooting, you can visualize that motion of what's happening inside the gun. Explosion break! It's the coolest sound. Okay, so to break down the KRISS Vector is very simple. You have 4 basic pins. You have one right here, one right here, one right here, and one right here. And the way I like to break it down is pretty simple. I start with the front lower pin first because it seems to be the easiest one to pull out. I use that pin once I pull it out the back side to push out the other pins. That way I can get that one out, I can push this one out, I can push this one out, and you're good to go. Pull down on the lower from the upper, the whole system comes apart. Just that easy. You can put this to the side for right now. You still have your side charging handle here, you still have your bolt release here, and you still have your mag release attached to the gun. None of that falls off, don't worry about it. The only thing that moves is the Vector technology, which is the KRISS Vector's bread and butter for what makes the recoil reduction system so amazing. As you can see in the top of this, when the bolt comes back, so most guns when they fire, that bolt goes back and all that recoil comes towards your shoulder or your wrist in a pistol. With this one, as that bolt comes back, there's a slight rearward motion and then it goes instantly down into the gun. So rather than going back into your hand, it goes directly down into the firearm, causing that up and down motion rather than constant muzzle rise. It's just too cool to see. My hat's off to KRISS. Very few times do you see new firearms come out that are new. Everyone's reinventing the wheel. You know, they make big announcements about guns coming out. Oh, new guns coming out. Next thing you know, it's another AR. Make something new. This Vector technology, I mean, too cool. Recoil mitigation that goes down rather than directly back. And to follow through with a basic breakdown, you just pull this directly out. You're gonna have 2 components. That's how easy the bolt comes out. So you have the main sections. This is the lower. You can put this to the side. You have your bolt assembly. This is what's going down into the gun. Very easy. You can just wipe that down and clean it. This is your bolt. You literally drop one end in and you rock the next side in and it's hanging right there. Show you how easy this is to put back together. It's very cold right now with gloves on. It's about 3 degrees. My hands are kind of numb, and I'll show you how easy it is. You have 2 lug sections on here and 2 lugs that are on the sides of the bolt. Those follow channels in the lower receiver. You get that going forward, get the lugs of the action going, all back together, good to go. Grab your upper, push it all back together, and then push your pins back in through the gun. Now I'm gonna leave these pins out real quick because I want to show you something. Grab your upper from the 45 ACP, put it together, push your pins back together. Nice and easy, just like that. Now you're swapped out. Black and tan, 9mm, KRISS Vector, ready to rock and roll. Too cool. So let's go shoot some stuff. Okay, so I wanted to shoot down range. We're about 30 feet from a paper target right in front of me. I wanted to shoot this thing so you guys can see the side of the gun. We'll talk about some of the specs as I shoot through it. It's one thing to hold it, look at the features, and see how they actually function when we're shooting. Now, we've already sighted in our red dots today. We've already got our guns set up for the video, but I did want to mention something real fast. Right out of the gate, we had a failure to extract and also a stovepipe. Now granted, it is a brand new gun. We have oiled it up, we have lubricated it. Now it's not that big of a deal, but the biggest problem I had with it was due to the fact when it stovepiped because of the failure to extract, the ejection port, it's very wide open. Don't get me wrong, I like the ejection port because of how big it is flinging out shell casings no problem, but when there is a failure to extract and if it jams up forward, all the surrounding housing inside that ejection port is plastic or a polymer plastic. But it's already chipped. We have a indentation to where when it impacted, it took out a chunk of that polymer plastic. So something to keep in mind. I personally think that whole section should be metal because it's part of the receiver, but you know, there's a lot of guns that have plastic ejection ports and they don't have metal there, but it is something to keep in mind. Let's see how this fires. And what we see with these functions that I've already kind of thought are a little non-ergonomic, as in you're not going to have the best mechanics between man and machine due to the fact where they put the mag release, also the forward charging handle, and that bolt hold open sections. So I just don't like the fact that where you place your hand, you have a mag release, because I've dumped 2 mags already just because of where my big fat fingers were lying. So let's see what happens. Let's stop talking. I know you guys are like, God, this guy doesn't shut up, but it's called a review. I have to talk. If you don't like me talking, you probably shouldn't be watching my review. So let's get that charged all the way back, all the way forward. All right, shooting. So shooting nice. I love the recoil mitigation. It has a kind of a boom, 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 boom. So it goes back and then down. And even if you keep shooting fast like this, just like that, you just have a little movement. And as you can see on the secondary camera, just ripping them off, it's very nice, very fast, very efficient. I definitely can see right out of the gate that because I had my hand forward and away from the back section of that bolt hold open, I'm depressing the front of it. And when the gun runs out of ammo, that front section pops up because now it's held open. But when your hand's up front, just like you heard, it's holding the bolt closed. So that's a huge ergonomic issue because now your hand's in the front to prevent it from locking the bolt open. You keep this depressed to where when the bolt actually is supposed to lock back, you're dropping it instantaneously. So when you go to change your mag out and put a new mag in and then hit that bolt release, you can't. You have to now charge it again in order to hit the bolt release or to charge the gun. Trigger, phenomenal. I love the trigger for out of the box gun. It's very, very crisp, as you can see. So see it again. That trigger, looking at about roughly, you know, it's right around that stock Glock trigger feel. It's got that, you know, 5.5, 6.5 pound trigger pull, but it's very crisp. When it breaks, it's great, and then there's no over travel either. A lot of the times when your trigger breaks, some guns have over travel, which means the trigger still moves to the back a little bit further, and that throws your shot off. So that over travel's non-existent. The break is really smooth. The only thing I don't like about it, let me get this going. I have to do this in an awkward way. Bolts open. Ugh, there you go. I think I got it. You can see that this reset is a little long. So when it resets, it kind of slaps you forward. The only issue I have with the trigger is that reset slap. Having an ability to, when you come off your gun, hit that magazine release, retain your magazines, put them back in your holster or holder, grab a new mag, insert your magazine, charge your gun, and be back in the fight pretty quick is awesome. So that motion is great. It's just where they put it, you know, unless you have a vertical grip, it's a pain in the ass. Okay, next mag, dumping them down range. Yeah, that time the bolt did hold open, so it's not every time. I'm trying to work my hand a little bit further forward and down, so I'm holding more here than I am up here. I liked putting my finger up here on this charging handle. It gives me a little bit downward pressure and a little bit better accuracy, I feel, because you have more control over the gun. But your palm is in dangerous zones of holding that bolt release closed at that point or open at that point. So holding more kind of down in this position, and it's giving a little bit better function. But then once again, your palm of your thumb is in a dangerous spot to hit that mag release, and it's so very easy to hit. Just one little push, it's very easy to use that's just my palm to release a mag. Some people with smaller hands may not have that issue. Real quick mention, we're not gonna run a muzzle brake or a suppressor on the 45 ACP version of the Vector today, but we are gonna run one almost all day on the 9mm. So we're gonna have a bunch of rounds to this gun without any suppression, which causes a lot of blowback and debris in the gun and can most likely cause more malfunctions almost every time because of how much debris is being blown back into the gun due to a suppressor. But the 9mm version, we will. That way at the end of the video, you will know either unsuppressed or suppressed, dirty or not dirty, it's gonna run very well. We will see. Okay, let's move on to the 9mm, see what that feels like. Okay, so the 9mm version, everything's the exact same except it's chambered in 9mm. Now at the beginning of the video, I talked about the 4 pins you have to use to take it down to swap out calibers between each upper system. You can leave that front lower pin in, and what that does is it holds the entire action into the assembly. So when you pop out the rear lower and the upper 2 pins, this whole assembly comes off, but the bolt doesn't fall all over the place. Okay, let's get to the first mag. Let's do this unsuppressed. All right. Let's get that mag out of there. Let's drop that bolt. Gun is clear, drop the hammer. We're gonna put on our suppressor now. So we have the Stealth Engineering Group. You're gonna see it a lot of the time as SEG, Stealth Engineering Group. This is their Hancock 9mm suppressor. They have the Independence. They have all sorts of cool suppressor names. 1/2 by 28. So your standard thread pitch is on this KRISS Vector, makes it very nice. All right, all the way down. There is a pro and a con for a quick detach, but direct thread, once I thread it on, I'm usually leaving it on all day, which is what we're gonna do with this. So for the rest of the video, there's gonna be no cleaning, nothing, just gonna be shooting the snot out of this thing and seeing if there's any malfunctions with a fully suppressed system with a lot of ammunition through it in a quick couple days. All right, next mag in. Whew, can't feel my fingers. A little cold. All right, charging up the gun. Safety is off. I love suppressed. Plus, when you're done shooting, you have a hand warmer. It helps in this environment. You just want to snuggle up to your suppressor. All right. Yep. So mag did dump all the way. Yes. Oh, it's so warm. It's so warm. It's cold. So I'm loving this suppressor. I'm glad we're gonna keep this on throughout the rest of the shoot this week. No issues. I will tell you if there's any issues, any stovepipes as we go, but that's the features right out of the gate. Let's get to shooting some more stuff, see what happens, have some fun, and then end the video with the pros and cons. All right, so we're gonna try something new. We've never done this before in GY6 Vids. One of our sponsors is LuckyShotUSA.com. Links in the description. They make really cool products, especially drinking products, out of stuff that's from ballistics. For instance, one of their products called the Bulletproof Shot Glass. This is a shot glass with a .30 caliber projectile stuck inside of it. So pretty awesome, a lot of fun to drink out of. Also 30mm shot glasses. This is a once fired 30mm cannon round shot out of an A10 Warthog. So they take it, demilitarize it, they coat it, put whatever engraving you want on it, and ship it out. So pretty cool. So we're gonna do the lucky shot of the video. The lucky shot of the video is gonna be shooting this 30mm shot glass at 30 yards with a 0 magnification red dot from the KRISS Vector 45 ACP. We're gonna do 3 attempts, whether I hit it or I don't. I'm gonna be giving this away on my Instagram page. It is time sensitive, so if you see this video a year from now or 5 months from now, it might be already over. But head over to Instagram.com/GY6Vids. Come say hi and look out for the giveaway picture. I'll post this shot glass and I'll be giving away the bulletproof shot glass with it. Now, if I shoot this and it leaves a hole in it or damages it, then I'll send 2 of them. So a cool giveaway. It's my way of shouting out LuckyShotUSA.com, one of our sponsors. We want to say a big shout out to them, and allows it to integrate it in the videos and give you guys some cool products as well. But either way, even if you don't win this, you can always go over to LuckyShotUSA.com, enter GY6Vids at checkout for a discount code to get 15% off anything you order. So let me take this 30mm shot glass, put it down at 30 yards, and see if we can hit it in 3 attempts. All right. 3 shots. Clouds are kind of coming and going, so I apologize about the light. See if we can get it in 3. I know a lot of you may not think this is difficult, but with the regular no magnification red dot, that little guy with no point of reference where your impact points are, and I haven't sighted in this red dot for this distance, little difficult. All right, let's see it. I guess that's why it's called the lucky shot of the video. Attempt 2. Oh! Yes! Yes! And I'm out. Let's go grab it real quick. Where'd it go? So, I was looking and hoping for a hole, but, you know, rounded projectile and rounded shot glass. Impact point's low, hit it just on the base, and you can see that skim mark, and it sent it flying. So, sending this one out, not sending a second, so it'll be this one and the bulletproof shot glass. So head over to instagram.com/GY6vids. So it is time sensitive, go check it out. But most of the time my giveaways last about 4 to 5 weeks, but you got to enter and follow the guidelines on that photo. Pretty cool stuff. Let me know in the description if you want me to keep doing these type of things in the videos. Okay, we have a TA target dueling tree down there at 50 feet, 100 round 9mm drum mag. Start ringing some steel.
Oh, come on.
It's pretty dead on. I mean, there's a little bit of variation because you're not supporting it with your shoulder, nor are you supporting it with both hands out in front. It's kind of in a position off your body, and you're supporting with your cheek. So it does move around quite a bit. Okay, back to the drum mag. We didn't fill it all the way up, I don't think. Pretty damn close though. Let's just rip in. It's a Triumph System, threat down zombie target, gel-filled brain, heart, and lungs. Let's just shoot the crap out of this thing. I think that's all of it. We have Triumph System pivotal trainers right now up. We have their threat down series targets. Now, these threat down series you can see are normal threats on the right and left hand side on the pivotal trainers, which are on a random setting. And now we're getting strafed. Always fun on set. And what we're going to do is we're going to engage the threats on the right and left hand side as they pop up, but also in between neutral and non-shoot, we'll shoot the zombie target. All right, you engage accordingly. So I'm aiming for the head that time. Now I'm going to go to whichever side that pops up. You can see how I strafe that one. You can see how I strike that one. You can see when it turns, if you miss the shot, because it kind of streaks through the target. Up. Ooh. This is pretty quick target acquisition. So zombie target in the middle. Nice brains, bleeding some red. Waiting for the next threat. When left lung, let's go right lung this time on the next target, whichever one pops up. Got a right lung. Right lung. Let's go with some brains. Brains, brains, brains. Let's go with some more brains. Let's do double taps now. Very easy double taps out of this. I like the consistency. Very easy, very controllable. Now, like I said, we have a mag empty right now. It is kind of awkward having that right where you support your hand on the gun because you sometimes dump that mag, and it's happened numerous times in B-roll. But the nice thing is, as you're coming off the gun, you release that magazine, drop it free, grab the next mag out of your pocket or holder, jam it in the gun, drop the bolt release, and engage again. Throw the heart in the middle of that zombie. Get some blood going on that heart. Headshot. Very easy, ripping up the brain on that side. Let's get the lungs going on the zombie. So these pivotal target systems, as you can tell, train you to react to a threat or a no-shoot target. You can do more than two, and they all run off of a remote control. So you can do it randomly like this, or you can have a partner
using it for manual control.
So pros and cons, real quick, don't want to be too long-winded because I have talked about some of these things throughout the video, but if you're skipping forward just to see the pros and cons of the system, here's what they are. Throughout filming this video, we did put over 600 rounds to this, including B-roll and all the other stuff we do behind the scenes that we don't put in the video. 600 rounds to the 45 ACP vector and 600 rounds to the 9mm vector. We did have issues with this 45 ACP version with stovepipe and a failure to feed. We had 3 total. Now with the 9mm vector, we did have it suppressed almost the entire time, and we only cleaned it once, and that was at the beginning when we took it out of the box. They're both brand new systems. They're both the same age, if you want to put it that way. And with suppression, we didn't have a single malfunction with the 9mm version at all. No stovepipes, no failures to feed. But the only issue we did have with the system was the fact that the magazines weren't holding the bolt back. Now I think it's because after 600 rounds of suppressed fire, you're gonna get a lot of gunk and build up, and that bolt hole open's probably getting a little gummed up. So that was probably the issue. Mechanics of the Vector are cool, I like them, but biggest con for me is the fact of how jumbled up all the components are. So your bolt hold open, your mag release, your charging handle, they're all right here. And the only place to hold the Vector is right there. If you're left-handed or right-handed, your hand's gonna grip around and start getting in the way of those mechanics. Now, when you have the system and it's a rifle version, or if you have this, papered to be a short-barreled rifle, you can put a vertical grip on it and you're not gonna have any of those issues whatsoever. So keep that in mind. Mag release, which tends to drop mags spontaneously sometimes if you're not paying attention, or holding open the bolt and thinking you have a malfunction by putting your hand over the bolt release. Or the counter side of that, having it too far forward and holding it close so when you run out of ammunition, the bolt doesn't hold open. So when you swap mags, you can't exactly just hit the bolt release and then fire the next round. It doesn't allow you to because you've kept it closed the whole time. On your last round, it sent the bolt home and it stayed there. Now, the safety itself, I think it's a pro and a con, ambidextrous and easy to get to on both left and right hand side, but I think it's a little loose and a little easy to flip on and off. So I think that's a con, but it's also a pro in the fact how easy it is to get to and because it's ambidextrous. So pro and a con there for the safety. What I really like about this gun is it's so compact. You can take it anywhere, you can pack it into things. If it had a side folding stock, it would be even more compact. So I'd say this is the best version of it because you have the option to transition over to short-barreled rifle if you wanted to do the NFA paperwork, or you can shoot it like a pistol, keep your cheek on it only. The only negative of the trigger is it has a little bit of a slap on the reset, so it slaps your finger forward a little bit and throws you off of the trigger. But the brake and the zero over travel is fantastic. One of my favorite pros of the KRISS Vector is the ease of maintenance and changing out calibers. 3 pins takes off the lower, you can exchange, put another caliber on there. Say you have more ammunition of 9mm and you want to swap them out, you can do that, and all you have to do is buy this lower system from KRISS. You don't have to buy the upper. You can just buy different calibers from them, save some money, swap them out as you need them. And right in line with that, ease of maintenance. You can pop out 4 pins, the whole thing comes apart, you can take out the bolt assembly, very easy. It's pretty much 2 main parts to the bolt assembly. It's not a bunch of pins and stuff you got to keep track of. You can clean it in the field and maintain it and also check for malfunctions very, very easily. So 1.5 thumbs up if you don't have a vertical grip up front because you got to deal with all this mess, or your hand can come completely off and you come right in front of the barrel and you shoot yourself. But 2 thumbs up if you do have a vertical grip because all that mess that makes it negative goes away. So that's my opinion. That's what I think of the KRISS Vector. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. I want to say a huge shout out to our sponsors. Their logos are right there. The links are in the description. You go check out their websites. There's also discount codes you can use to get some of the stuff off at a certain discount. Vortex Optics is one of our sponsors. Gripkey.com, they're the ones that make the official Kydex key holder. This allows you to have all your keys in one spot and it holds in your pocket with a clip on the backside, just like a pocket knife does. You don't have to be fumbling around for your keys. TATargets.com, we use their pistol dueling tree today. StayInOneArmory.com, match grade ammunition at bulk costs. Can't say no to that. LuckyShotUSA.com, cool little man cave drinking items you can have for your friends and family. You saw us earlier shooting some of their shot glasses, as well as Audible. A lot of you know about Audible, buy books as well as other comedy routines and different items you might not even be aware of on their website. I don't have a lot of time to sit around on my couch and just read through a book and flip through it, and I don't have that time. I'm always on the go. I spend all my time in my vehicle, so being able to find a favorite book of mine and have it read to me over my speakers is a fantastic way to pass the time. And you can go to the link right here on the video audible.com/GY6. That's the link you can use, and the link is also in the description. It'll take you to their website and you'll get a 30-day free trial. And with that 30-day free trial, you also get a free book download. If you don't want to stay on their program, once you cancel, you still get to keep that book. I'm currently listening to Robinson Crusoe. If you haven't listened to it, if you haven't read that book, definitely download it, check it out. Go check out the sponsors, all links in the description. Can't do without them, as well as I can't do it without you guys. You can click right here to go subscribe to GY6 Vids on YouTube, and you can click the 2 video links right here to go check out something else we filmed in the past. Thanks a lot, guys. I appreciate the support. Much more coming. I'm gonna go thaw out. I think I'm freezing to death. See you next time.